Hello, good morning students. मैं रामपाल प्रजापत फ्रॉम इलेक्ट्रिकल डिपार्टमेंट इन SDIT दोसा। डियर स्टूडेंट, आज के लेक्चर में हम स्टडी करेंगे SIL लोडिंग ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन लाइन। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, व्हाट इज द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ SIL? SIL is surge impedance loading of the transmission line, which represents the maximum capability of power transfer of the transmission line in stable position. So, in previous lecture, we have studied about short transmission line, long transmission line, and medium transmission line. In short transmission line, we consider only effect of resistance and inductance and capacitance effect are neglected. And in medium transmission line, we consider parameters as a lumped parameter. Lumped parameter means parameters which are physically separable are known as lumped parameter, such as pure resistance, pure inductance, and pure capacitance. But in a long transmission line, parameters are considered as uniformly distributed parameters. In uniformly distributed parameters, to analyze the transmission line, we take a small section of the line and we analyze that section, and the analysis of this section is considered as the analysis of long transmission line. In previous lecture, we have studied about long transmission line and parameters of long transmission line and transmission line constant ABCD. So during the process, we see that equation for voltage, that was d square v upon ds square, that is yz into L. So that equation was homogeneous differential equation, and solution of that equation was found by us, which provides the value of ABCD constant. So now we discuss on surge impedance loading. So surge impedance loading is essential parameter when it comes to the study of power system, as it is used in the prediction of maximum loading, capacity of transmission line. However, before understanding SIL, we first need to have an idea of what is surge impedance loading. So it can be defined into two ways. One is a simpler one and other is a bit rigorous. So from the rigorous solution of a long transmission line, we get the following equation for voltage and current at any point on the line at a distance x from the receiving end. So voltage from receiving end at distance x is Vx, that is equal to cosec Vr plus ZCIR divided by 2 into e की power del x plus cosec Vr minus ZCIR divided by half into e की power minus del x. So Ix is equal to cosec Vr upon Zc plus IR divided by half into e की power del x minus Vr upon Zc minus IR by half e की power minus del x, where Vx and Ix is the voltage and current at point x. Vr and IR are voltage and current at receiving end. So Zc is equal to characteristic impedance and del is equal to propagation constant. So Zc is equal to under root Z upon Y, where Z is the impedance of the long transmission line and Y is the admittance of the line, and del is equal to under root Y into Z, that is a constant and its value is complex, that is alpha plus J beta. So in the given expression, Z is series impedance per unit length per phase and Y is shunt admittance per unit length per phase. So putting the value of del in the above equation of voltage, we get Vx is equal to Vr plus ZCIR divided by half e की power alpha x dot e की power j beta x plus phi 1 plus Vr minus ZCIR divided by half into e की power minus alpha x and e की power minus j beta x plus phi 2, where phi 1 is the angle between Vr and ZCIR and phi 2 is the angle between Vr minus ZCIR. So we observe that the instantaneous voltage consists of two terms, each of which is a function of time and distance. Thus, they represent two travelling waves. So the first one is the positive exponential part, representing a wave traveling towards receiving end, and is hence called the incident wave, while the other part with negative exponential represents the reflected wave. At any point along the line, the voltage is the sum of both the waves. It means it is the sum of incident wave plus reflected wave. Same is true for current wave also. Now, if we suppose the load impedance ZL is selected such that ZL is ZC, and we get ZL is equal to VR upon IR, thus VR upon IR is equal to ZC, that is VR minus ZCIR is equal to 0, and hence the reflected wave vanishes. Such a line is termed as infinite line. It means in an infinite length line there is no reflected wave, so it appears to the source that the line has no end because it receives no reflected wave. Hence, such an impedance which render the line as infinite line is known as surge impedance. It has a value of about 400 ohms and phase angle varying from 0 to 15 degrees for overhead lines and 40 ohm for underground cables. So the term surge impedance loading is used in connection with surge on the transmission line, which may be due to lightning or switching, where the line losses can be neglected such that Z is equal to Zs, that is equal to L upon C. Now that we have understood surge impedance can easily define surge impedance loading. So SIL is defined as the power delivered by a line to a purely resistive load equal in value to the surge impedance of that line. Hence we can write SIL is equal to root 3 VR square upon root 3 Zs, that is equal to VR square upon Zs, or VR square into under root L upon C. The unit of SIL is watt or megawatt. So when the line is terminated by surge impedance, the receiving end voltage is equal to the sending end voltage, and this case is called flat voltage profile. So the following figure show the voltage profile for different loading cases. Now in the given circuit, voltage behavior of a long transmission line without shunt reactor installed. One side is sending end voltage and secondary side is receiving end voltage. When there is a short circuit in line, then voltage towards receiving end is decreasing, and there is heavy short circuit, then receiving end voltage is 0. Similarly, if a line is loaded, so due to loading in line, current density increase in the line, which cause voltage drop. So voltage at receiving end is not equal to voltage equal to sending end. It means there is slight difference in voltage due to voltage drop in line. If surge impedance loading, then voltage at sending end is equal to voltage at receiving end. It means line is considered as ideal transmission line and there is no losses in the line, due to which sending end voltage equal to receiving end voltage. Now, if there is no load at receiving end and line is compensated with shunt reactor, then receiving end voltage increase than sending end voltage. So this effect is known as Ferranti effect. What is Ferranti effect? Ferranti effect is that in a light loaded long transmission line, if load is removed suddenly, then voltage at receiving end increase than the voltage of sending end. This phenomena is known as Ferranti effect. So it should also be noted that surge impedance and hence SIL is independent of the length of the line, but the value of surge impedance will be the same at all the points on the line, and hence the voltage in case of compensated line, the value of surge impedance will be modified according as Zs dash equal to Zs under root 1 minus KSE divided by 1 plus KCSH into 1 minus KLSH. Here KSE is percentage of series capacitive compensation by series capacitor and KCSH is compensative compensation by shunt capacitor CSH. Similarly, KLSH for inductive compensation in shunt and KSE in series LSH. So the value of KSE is 1 upon omega square LCSE and KCSH is percentage of shunt capacitive compensation by CSH or shunt capacitor. So value of KCSH is CSH upon C or KLSH is percentage of shunt inductive compensation by shunt reactor. So the value of KLSH is 1 upon omega square CLSH. So the equation for SIL will now use the modified Z. Yes. This is the surge impedance loading of transmission line. Okay, thank you students for today class. Ask for any query. So in this chapter or in this class we have studied about surge impedance loading in long transmission line. Surge impedance is the effective value of impedance of the line which cause no loss in the line, and line is considered as ideal line, and the value of impedance is considered as surge impedance, and power in the line is considered as surge impedance loading or loaded power, SIL power. There is also effect of compensation on surge impedance loading. Means if the compensation is done by series impedance or series capacitor, then surge impedance value decrease, which increase the SIL loading. But in case of shunt capacitance compensation, the value of surge impedance also decrease, so which also increase SIL loading. But if the compensation is done by shunt reactor, then reactor produce power loss, hence surge impedance increase, and which decrease the SIL loading of the line. So conclusion is that if compensation is done by capacitor or capacitive compensation, then SIL loading increase, and due to series inductive compensation reduce the SIL loading of the transmission line, which increase the impedance of the transmission line. Thank you for today's class. Ask for anything.